Welcome back to the WRT. We're here in the Golden State for the Pleasanton Open. These players have traveled near and far to compete here this weekend with over 28 players from 8 different countries. This will surely be a melting pot of game style and talent. These players are going to amaze you with their super speed gets and their amazing power, so make sure you let the world know that you're watching the WRT by using the hashtag WRT and hitting us up on social media. Also, these players play best 2 out of 3 games to make a match. That's the first 2 to 15 and the tiebreaker to 11 win by 1. Each player is allotted 2 timeouts. So let's get this tournament started and see who will be crowned Pleasanton champion. At the club sport, and we're ready now for the semifinals. Are you guys having a good time so far here with the WRT? Show us your love. Let me hear you out there. All right, that's what we like to hear. The competition is about to go to the next level right now with the semifinals, where we have the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed competing here tonight. Our first match is about to get started, but stick around. Right after this, we have another semifinal. Now the players are playing with the official WRT ball, which is the black Gearbox ball. If you guys want to find out more about Gearbox products, you can check out the stand right behind you. And for those of you at home, you can also go online to gearboxrb.com. Are you guys ready to get this match started? Should we bring the players out? Are you sure? All right, starting out, we have our number 3 seed from Scandia, Minnesota. Please put your hands together for Jake Bredenbeck. And the number 2 seed from Juarez, Mexico, you know him as Alex Cardona. Okay, Cardona, heads or tails? You want to serve? All right, Cardona will start serving. Good luck. All right, we're live here at our semifinal match between Jake Bredenbeck, who's number 3, and Alex Cardona, number 2. I'm Laura McCormick with the WRT, and joining me today for the commentating is Freddie Ramirez of Restrung Magazine. How's it going, Freddie?
Hi, Laura. How you doing?
Good.
1-0.
Glad you could join me on the mic today.
Oh, happy to be there.
Now, something unique to note about our semifinals here tonight is we actually have the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds in the semifinals. And I mean, I guess that's the way it's supposed to go, right? When you have seedings?
Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting the way they work their ways through the draw. I think all of them had serious tests on their way in, so it's good to see it. It shows that the time that they're putting on tour is paying off.
Lord.
Now, I believe the last time these two faced off against each other was at the Alamo City Open at the end of 2014, and that's where Cardona won his last championship.
Okay.
That was
How many games did that go, do you remember?
Excuse me?
How many games did that go, do you remember?
That was 2 games. First game was 15-13, second game 15-9.
Okay.
2-0.
So it should be a pretty interesting matchup here today.
Oh, it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. Alex looks good today. I mean, he had a long battle with Danny Lavely earlier. Danny was kind of like keeping the game long and staying in it, and we'll see if the amount of time he spent on court kind of affects him during this match.
0-2.
Yeah, and Bredenbeck had a tough quarterfinal earlier this morning, too, against Uvalde. Those scores were also 15-13, 59. There's not too much rest here in between the quarters and the, semis.
No. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the way Jake handled himself
1-2.
last match against Jose. Jose's a tough player. He's from Ecuador. You know,
Second serve.
they really like their racquetball over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he impressed me because he fell down. He went down early in the match. He was down 7-0 in the first game, and he kept his
2-2.
composure and he worked his way in. Nothing fancy, and he got the W. And I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Alex has been hitting some wicked shots this especially today. I mean, yesterday he played really, really well, but earlier he was just making some ridiculous shots.
That's Cardona, as usual, you know, usually so composed too, is one of my favorite things about watching Cardona. He's so hard to read. I imagine that's got to be frustrating sometimes as a player, but I think lately he's been getting more comfortable, and you see a couple of smiles here and there.
Yeah, it's really hard to know where you are in terms of like where you have him on the court.
Yeah.
He's just so deadpan, and I think it works well with his style because he's you know, very, very consistent, and like as we all know, he can hit a ton. That's a nice shot by Cardona.
Yeah, he's looking pretty comfortable out there right now in game 1 of our semifinal match here tonight.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to set a tone early. You know, kind of send a message to Jake that, you know, he's here to play, and if Jake's going to play, he's got to play early. If not, he's not going to play.
Nice shot by Jake.
Yeah.
Love those showy shots between the legs. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, for a big guy, Jake just moves so fluid. I mean, he's very capable for a big player, and of course he hits a ton, as we see there.
Yeah, a lot of power behind those swings. Oh, looks like it's going to be Cardona's
He
ball.
doesn't look too happy with that. That was kind of close. That's a tough call from up here, but
4-2.
So I guess then what you're saying is size doesn't really matter in racquetball.
well, it does and it does and it doesn't. You know, I think with a guy like Cardona, I mean, he's powerful, but he's short and compact, you know, where you have Jake, he's just a big guy, and like sometimes you're able to see with conviction, he can just pound that ball, you know, and he's a big guy, so he puts a lot of pace on it. But with the littler guys, it's kind of has a lot to do with speed and timing and racket speed, that kind of thing.
Oh, nice get.
Yeah. That was a nice dig, and I like the way that he recognizes where he is in terms of where he is on a court and able to get it back to the wall. I think Cardona, for a small guy, and he generates power, but unlike most of the small guys, he can continue that pace throughout the whole match.
Right.
Whereas younger guys, or like other guys who are smaller, who hit really hard, you know, as second game, third game starts to wear them down, the pace doesn't quite match the first game. Cardona's the opposite. He'll go full on for as long as the match is going on.
Now Cardona has Jake seriously frustrated so far early in game 1, and I feel like something that we're seeing from Cardona right now that I don't normally see right off the bat is his shot selection. He looks like he's really just confident standing there in the middle of the court right now and kind of running.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's mixing up his shots. I think one of the things he sees in Jake is the little bit of frustration that he's not able to like get into this match right away. And like I said earlier, I think he wants to send a message that, you know, he's here, and if he's gonna be competitive with Alex, he's gonna have to start early. But I think Alex really wants that #1 spot.
Yeah, I think so. I know it's, you know what, I'm supposed to get those rankings. I'll have those in just a moment. Those points spread for everyone. But yeah, it's interesting to note how close, Polo Gutierrez, who's number 1, Alex Cardona, number 2, and Jake Bredenbeck, number 3. And the 3 of them, at least in the last 5 tournaments, have just flip-flopped back and forth, rotating between 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, no, I think that's great for the WRC. I think, these guys come out and they have so much talent. It's kind of hard for them to maintain. They really have to work for it. I like what Cardona's doing right now. He's kind of like taking his time. He's not rushing the pace. He's just maintaining his control.
Yeah, that's something that I like about Cardona's game is he takes his time in the service box and he uses that, I think, to collect himself mentally.
Looks like Jake's showing a little bit of frustration there. That might be an understatement.
Yeah, and I usually like to ask, how does that feel when you know that your opponent now is like mentally frustrated? Is that something you can capitalize on, or is it kind of like, Bredenbeck could be a loose wire. He could come back now and hit it even harder than he was before.
No, without a doubt, it's something that he definitely knows is happening. So I think him being deliberate in the box kind of just facilitates that because he gives Jake time to think about it while he's on the court. Jake's not one that likes to take too many timeouts, but I think, at this point, that might be something that he should consider, at least in my opinion. But like right there, it's just he just hasn't. He's not really confident on how he should be playing Cardona right now because Cardona seems to be controlling the match solidly.
Yeah, he's very comfortable right now,
it's
up 10 points in game 1.
Yeah. I think Jake called a timeout.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a listen to what Cardona had to say before the match, so take a look. So earlier today you played Danny Lively. Tell us about that match.
Pues me sentí un poco bien, poco cansado en los primeros puntos, fueron más cerrados, batallé un poquito en los primeros puntos en los dos sets, pero ya a la mitad del partido me fue mejor y empezaron a salir más los servicios y todo. Dani es un buen jugador, es muy rápido, de repente sí pensé que no las alcanzaba y me quedaba parado pero sí, pues gané afortunadamente.
And so next up, you're going to face Bredenbeck. How are you feeling going into that match?
No, pues solamente echarle ganas, jugar mi mejor partido. Jake es un buen jugador, es muy rápido, le pega muy fuerte a la pelota. Entonces, pues nada más concentrarme mejor en el juego y no tratar de fallar nada. Y pues echarle ganas para llegar a la final mañana.
Okay, and so how is your experience so far here in California this weekend?
No, pues he andado malo en la semana. Me gusta California, es muy bonito. Me gusta el clima que hay aquí. Solo que pues hoy he andado malo y no he tenido chance de disfrutar las cosas. Entonces, pero la gente es muy amable. Los que me hablan en español, pues trato de hablar con ellos muy bien y todo. Entonces, pues me siento a gusto estar aquí en California y gracias a todos por venir y pues espero y vengan ahorita a las semifinales y mañana a las finales.
Okay, great. Well, we wish you the best.
12-2. 12.
Well, I was joking with Cardona after that interview. I think that's the most he's ever spoken, at least in my interviews.
That's the most I've heard him speak, and I've been listening to the kid for a while.
Guess he's getting more comfortable now being in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm sure you asking him the questions and kind of looking at him. Totally.
Big swing there and a nice placement there by Jake Bredenbeck right in the corner. That's going to give him the side out he was looking for after the timeout.
Yeah, I think he's found a little bit of focus. Let's hope.
Not too many aces yet so far here this weekend. I was talking about how last weekend we were at the Mount Rainier Open. Bredenbeck and Cardona had the most aces in one day. Cardona with 11 between the quarters and the semis, and Bredenbeck with 8. So far today,
Yeah, that's
Bredenbeck
pretty
has 2.
interesting. Yeah, they both have very powerful drive serves. I think today Jake was struggling a little bit with his serve, and I think it's carrying over a little bit. Into this match. He's definitely feeling some frustration right now. I think, in order for Jake to get back into this game, he just has to kind of like forget the fact that he's down so large in the first game and try to pull what he can out of this game in terms of momentum. Obviously the best result for him would be like to come back and win the match, but in lieu of that, I think he should work on trying to gain some momentum. So this way he can carry it into kind of like changing it
For
his
game 2.
benefit for the game, yeah.
Yeah, and anything can happen. I'm always impressed by how game 2 can be completely different from game 1.
Yeah, it seems like the timeout did him some good.
3-12. Good serve.
So that's pretty good. What is that now? Like 2 unanswered points, 3 unanswered
4-12.
points? Which is
Yeah,
pretty
and
good.
there's an ace.
Yeah. Alright. Looks like he's regained some of his focus. I think what's been helping him too is he's been keeping the ball down the line by the wall
5-12.
and making Alex go side to side a little bit.
All
All right,
So
Bredenbeck
Six.
with a couple points here in a row, trying to make a comeback.
And Cardona solidly saying, I think
Yeah.
that's enough of your little run. But I think that's a big set of points for Jake in terms of
12-6.
momentum. I think what he should be working on right now is not letting Alex score so easily, like keeping the rallies long and just trying to maintain control.
Intense rally there.
Yeah.
Frustration there for Jake.
Yeah, pretty frustrating. I think the crowd seems to be a little frustrated for him too. Speaking of the crowd,
13-6.
I'm pretty impressed with the layout here. Coming to Club Sports and just seeing the setup with the crowd, the way it's set up, and the way you guys are broadcasting. It's very impressive.
Oh, good.
I gotta say, I've been enjoying it a lot.
Well, that's great to hear. We love the feedback. Work hard to make these events fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can testify to that, seeing how
Right.
how you guys
You got
spend
to
so
see.
much time in the setup and stuff, and working with the clubs
14-6.
logistically, trying to like work around their schedules. It's impressive. I mean, for people who are watching online, the productions are getting better and better, and it's like the quality is just amazing. But I don't think they realize just how much work goes into doing this.
Well, that's great to hear. We always appreciate that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right now we still have Bredenbeck working his way back here in game 1.
Game.
And that means Cardona's going to
And
win
Cardona
game
closed
1.
the door on that one, huh?
So Cardona winning game 1. We're going to come back here in just a few minutes with game 2. So stick around. We will be right back. match between Alex Cardona and Jake Bredenbeck. We'd like to give a special thanks to one of our sponsors here today, the Reaching Your Dream Foundation, which helps make it possible for these players to get to these events. It gets pretty expensive being a player traveling around the country in order to compete and live out your dream. So thank you to the Reaching Your Dream for supporting us. If you guys go to reachingyourdreamfoundation.com or give2, that's the number 2, rydf.org, you can go ahead and check out more about them and make a donation. But it's a pretty great organization that helps these players reach their dreams of playing professionally.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It gets pretty expensive for the players, and what I think RYDF is doing is just fantastic. It's giving so many of these younger players a chance to kind of like work on their craft and get a taste of what professional racquetball is about consistently. And I've been able to see within the last, this last season, just what a difference that experience makes for younger players. Their games just get that much better. And it's like earlier, I witnessed a match. Mario, what was his last name?
Mario Mercado.
Mario Mercado. He played a Bobby Horn in the quarters, and I got to tell you, I was so impressed just by how composed he was.
Right,
and
for being a younger player, he's only 20 years old.
Oh my goodness.
He just started with the WRT earlier this year.
I think it's fantastic. A few more events like that, and he's going to be tough.
Yeah, and that's what we like, is how much the competition changes and the players grow. Cardona and Bredenbeck, both recipients of the help that the Reaching Your Dream Foundation can offer. So it's just great to be able to give opportunities to these players and help them foster their careers.
Yeah, it's a great program.
Zeros.
And if you really love racquetball, I mean, there's no better way to support younger players.
Yeah. So it looks like Bredenbeck's ready to start serving here in game 2 of our semifinal match. The winner of this match tonight will continue on to the finals tomorrow, which we will be broadcasting at 12 noon Standard Time. Big swing there from Cardona.
Yeah, I think Jake was hoping to carry some of the momentum that he gained late in the last game.
Zeros.
Cardona looking, yeah, right.
Confident
so
there, right?
confident and comfortable there, and just like you could see that he had a lot of options there, and he knew that, and he took advantage of that.
Yeah, he's controlling center court.
Yeah, he really is.
Solidly now. And that's pretty unusual for, well, not unusual, but it's interesting because they're both power players. And I think him controlling center court the way that he's doing just kind of like shortens the rallies a little bit, has Jake kind of like on his heels.
0-1.
Placement from Cardona.
Yeah,
and it's nice to see that game development from him, because I think normally you expect to see power, which I think is what you're talking about, and then to see him, and I just haven't seen that really from Cardona, not last tournament and not yet this weekend, so he just looks really comfortable out there making shot
really
selections.
Comfortable. You're absolutely
power.
right. That's a great observation, because that last play, he was controlling Jake from the backcourt. A little off pace, a little kind of like using the walls, making Jake move while he has center court. I mean, he's very comfortable out there. Again, that frustration.
A little frustrated here in game 1. Now Bredenbeck from Minnesota, that can tie into our next event that's coming up the first weekend of May for the Midwest Championships, where we'll be at the University of Minnesota right in Minneapolis. That'll be really cool for Jake to be playing in his home state. I'm curious to see what type of crowd we get for Bredenbeck out there.
Oh, I'm sure he's looking forward to that, playing in front of his home crowd. What's the date for that?
That is May 1st through May 3rd.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
You're going to mark your calendar, make your
I'm
reservations?
marking my calendar.
curious what's going on for Jake. I don't think it's common for him to be skipping this many balls. You did say he's not really prone to taking timeouts. I wonder.
1-0.
Yeah, I think he's struggling in terms of, what to do from this point on. I think, it looks like he's trying different things, and it's everything he does, Cardona just happens to have like at the end control, like totally controlling him, making him make it.
Yeah.
Again, Cardona taking his time at the box, just giving Jake some time to think about it.
Oh, behind the back from Cardona there.
Wow, he's just moving Jake from one part of the court to the other.
Yeah, he's definitely controlling this match here.
Yeah.
3-0.
I think from this point on, I think what Jake has to do is kind of like just try to remain calm and kind of like think along the lines of executing his shots and not worry so much where he is in terms of the match and how far down he is. I think his best bet is to try to win, the very next point.
Right, point for point, and just start chipping away at it.
Right.
And honestly, that's something that, from previous interviews with Jake, he seems to be really focused on. He's not, it's not that he's playing the number 2 player. It's that it's an opponent, and he's going to take it point by point. So it is still early here in game 2. Anything can happen. That's what we say here at the WRT. So for those of you cheering for Jake, send him your love here on Facebook. We have a contest going on right now. You post a picture of yourself watching the WRT or here at the event. Go ahead and post it on our Facebook page. Put in a little clip about who you think is going to win this match, Cardona or Bredenbeck. You'll be entered to win a free Gearbox t-shirt. So go ahead and get those pictures up there, and you'll automatically be entered to win. All right, well, here's Jake's opportunity after a skip there from Cardona.
0-5.
Tough rally there for Jake.
Tough rally. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah, both of them really hanging out there. I mean, I don't think they went much past the service box until that last ball.
5-0.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see Cardona kind of just off-pace Jake. I mean, we know he's known for just like his power, but it just seems he's so comfortable.
Right.
That he's just using placement, and kind of like using Jake's power against him. I think right now Jake is overhitting.
6-0. 6-0.
Big serve there from Cardona. That's another ace for him.
Yeah, keeping the ball up.
Good serve. Seven 0.
See, like what he just did right now. I think he didn't overplay the ball. I think he just focused on his approach to the ball, kind of like thinking through his technique, and I think that right now would probably work best for him. Just try to gain a little bit of momentum and work from there.
Big serve there from Bredenbeck. So maybe playing a little smarter, not harder. Is that
1-7.
Smarter, not harder. That's a perfect term for it. Yeah.
Tough there.
Yeah, Alex able to kind of remain in his comfort zone.
Got that point on the board.
Yeah.
Now it's Cardona's opportunity here. Looking comfortable all through game 1 and game 2 so far. 1 serving 7. Excuse me, 7 serving 1. And another ace there from Cardona. That's 2 in this game.
Yeah, I think this would be a good time for Jake to kind of think about things with a timeout. And just reassess, get off of that court, shed some of that energy.
Let's try to maybe throw Cardona's rhythm off a little bit.
2.
Nice hit there from Bredenbeck.
Finds himself in the box. He needs to score some points, no doubt.
1-8.
Big return there from Cardona, not giving anything for Bredenbeck here in game 2.
No. Yeah, it looks like Jake just doesn't know what to do with his serve right now. I think he kept that one right up.
8-1.
Cardona's going to make him pay for any weak serves, or maybe change the pace a little bit more lobs, maybe lob to his backhand.
Short.
Short serve. Chased down by Bredenbeck.
Good shot.
Nice answer by Cardona.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just, Cardona right now is looking solid. Just
9-1.
in control. I feel like he knows how Jake is going to react to his shots and just, adjusting the pace accordingly. Right now, Jake looks to be at a loss as to how to get back into this match.
Yeah, and he just doesn't want to come off that court.
No, he doesn't. Oh, that's just sick.
Nice shot there from Cardona.
Yeah. Overhand. This would be a good time for Jake to
10-1.
take a timeout.
Right.
If just to get some perspective on where he is in this match.
Yes or no?
Well, that's positive for Jake, I think, finding himself in the spot. But he's got to find some energy to rack up some points and get himself back in the match.
Yeah, and get a little bit of rhythm or momentum on his side. I know that's, where he starts to feel most comfortable and kind of get in a groove, but he hasn't been able to find that yet here today with Cardona. There's a point, but he's still frustrated, it seems.
Frustrated. I can imagine he's saying, see, it's that easy.
2-10.
It's that easy. We all know it's not. But
Right. All right, there's 2 in a row. This is a little bit of momentum here now for Bredenbeck.
a little bit of light.
3-10.
Game 2 of our semifinal match. The winner of this match will continue on tomorrow to the final.
That's a nice pass by Jake.
3 in a row.
4-10.
Cardona's calm. I think he knows he's up. Second point, he's got the first game. And just thinking no big runs.
Right, like kill any momentum as it comes up.
Right.
10-4.
And I really like his off speed. I mean, he's still putting some pace on it, but I mean, he realizes that, it's not the pace that's getting him where he is with Jake. Man, Alex is making that case for that number 1 spot, I tell you.
He's
making
going
his
after
case.
it, huh?
He's making his case.
11-4.
And Bredenbeck was number 1 there for a while in January after winning
Yeah,
winning
that's
the
right.
Sonora Open.
That's right. That's right.
But then then Cardona came and grabbed the next title at the San
Once
Diego
cuatro.
weekend, San Diego Open the weekend after.
Yeah, I think for Jake it was a positive moment in that he kind of knows what number one feels like. So it's something he can like really work for in terms of like this time I want to get them, I want to keep it. But right now it looks like he's got some things to figure out. You know, I think, you know, right now
12-4.
Cardona is really, really on his game. He's looking solid. He's making his case.
Definitely.
Yeah, Jake could use a timeout in my opinion right now, just to kind of. That's tough. That's tough.
They got a little close up there at the front of the court.
13-4.
Cardona is 2 away from closing out this game and taking the match from Jake Bredenbeck.
Cardona's going to meet Bobby Horn and Polo Gutierrez.
Yes, they'll play the winner of that.
The winner of that match.
Semi-final match coming up right after this match.
That should be interesting. I'm sure Bobby's feeling happy about being in a position to get to the final again.
Yeah, that should be another great match coming up right after this. And I just love that it was the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams in the semifinals here this weekend. We saw that last weekend as well at the Mount Rainier Open.
Yeah, totally solid draw.
Error there from Cardona, getting some ooze from the crowd.
Trying a little touch shot from the backcourt.
5-13.
There's a side out for Cardona.
Yeah, it looks like Jake's in full frustration mode right now.
13-5. 13-5.
Looks like Cardona wanted 2 bounces.
Yeah, he was looking for the call earlier.
He was looking for a 2-bounce call. I think Jake got that. I think it kind of
5-13.
a little bit. Been completely cracked out.
Short.
I think Jake's in do-or-die mode right now.
Yeah, I think so. And all of a sudden, we're seeing a lot of errors here from Cardona. Just the last couple of points.
6-13.
I think he feels he probably has this game already kind of like pulled up. He senses the frustration with Jake, so he's just trying like these kitschy little shots from the back, little overhand dinks, which is all and well. I think, you know,
7-13.
if you're in your comfort zone, that's great. But the last thing he wants is to let this game get away from him.
Right.
And it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
13-7.
So don't forget, for those of you
13-7.
watching at home, take a picture of yourself watching the WRT, post it to our Facebook page, and you'll automatically be entered to win a free Gearbox t-shirt. So go ahead and get online and enter.
Good shot.
That's tough.
Seven 13. 7-13.
You know, realistically, Jake is still in this match. I mean, it's not over till it's over.
Right.
I think one of the things he has to do is kind of take advantage of the fact that Alex might be a little bit comfortable in where he is in the match and kind of like just string of a number of runs together, and before you know it, he might be in position to compete for this game. But with backhand overhand shots from the back like that by Cardona, doesn't look likely
13-7.
to happen.
13-7.
It's pretty sick. Well, these guys are like chock filled with talent. Some of these guys are just, their shot selection just gets so creative from there. I mean, any one of the 4 players playing in the semis here can at any time during any match just come up with something ridiculous because their skill level is just that high. You know,
And their experience and their, being in these situations before, it's just becomes so natural for them, I think.
yeah. And you see the creativity in the shot
7-13.
selection. They can do anything. Backhand, overhands, between the legs. Cardona, during Cardona's last match, he hit this shot between his legs that from the backcourt was just ridiculous. Had the crowd here at Club Pleasanton just going nuts.
Some serious swinging there from Cardona in this rally.
Yeah, solid. Put that down from the back.
13-7.
One thing Cardona's been doing lately is kind of taking his time between points. Like really extending
His normal routine. And
yeah, it's just like setting the
controlling that,
pace.
yeah.
That's right. Deciding he's dictating the pace of the game. Oh,
Shot.
that's just tough. He put that one down decisively. I think he wants out too.
He's
14-7.
ready to close this one out. Let's see if
14-7.
Cardona can close it out. This is match point right here. Taking his time.
Yeah, he seems to be taking his time for sure.
I think that's definitely a part of the strategy against Jake, though, is just really controlling the game.
Giving him
And
time to think.
Cardona's done that really well.
That's tight.
That means Alex Cardona is the winner of this semifinal match against Jake Bredenbeck. What a battle here between these 2 players. Really intense, but Cardona overall winning it and staying true to his number 2 seed. I'm Laura McCormick, and I'd like to thank Freddie Ramirez for joining me for this semifinal match.
Oh, this was a pleasure, Laura. Thank you
Great.
very much.
Well, don't go too far. Maybe we'll stick around and have him on again for the next semifinal. Don't go anywhere, folks. In 10 minutes, we're going to get our next match started between Polo Gutierrez and David Bobby Horn. You don't want to miss it. We got more racquetball for you all weekend. We'll be right back.